Hey everybody, Shannon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in the Inheritance DLC for Layers of Fear, grabbing the This Could Be Important achievement. This is to find every single note in the game. I believe there's about 23 of them or so. So, starting off from the beginning, which one of these you want to turn around and grab the one directly behind you? Head over to the front door and open it up. You want to go inside the main foyer area. Look at the cabinets to your left, open up the third drawer from the left and grab the note inside. Then which one of these you want to turn around and look over by the front window. On the right side will be this note right here. I believe it's one of those certificate of adoption for a pet or something. Then what you want to do is you want to head into the bathroom, which is the room to the right of the staircase. Between the toilet and the bathtub is going to be a flyer for Hawaii. Make sure you pick that up. Then we're going to head into the basement, which is the room that is the first to the left of the staircase, right over here, and make sure you open that up. Head down the stairs. There's going to be a jump scare once you get to the bottom, so if you're easily startled, for one, you shouldn't be playing this game, but you want to keep that in mind. Collectible will be right here on this desk right here. After that, we're going to head back upstairs. In case you're wondering, we are skipping flashbacks that don't have any collectibles, and we're just focusing on collectibles in this playthrough. So we skipped the flashback in the basement, for example. But we're going to head back upstairs and then hang a right into the workshop. What you want to do is you want to open up the drawer that is on the right. It's the topmost one, and in here is going to be another note. So there's two flashbacks that actually have collectibles within the flashbacks. The first one is the one in the workshop. What you want to do is you want to hop on inside by examining the canvas and just staring at it for a few seconds. Once you start the flashback, grab the crayon and set the world to the fantasy land. Then you want to go behind the easel, flip the switch to turn on the lights, and just follow this path so you can get the second crayon. We're pretty much going to focus on advancing the world because the first partition of the Fable lands doesn't have any collectibles. So grab the crayon and just backtrack by following the path all the way back. Having those lights turn on will help a lot. All you have to do is just follow the way. If you get lost, just look for the rotating lights. That's how you find your way back to the canvas. Once you're here, just interact with the canvas again to go to the second partition of the Fable lands. This time you want to go down the left path, which is this yellowy greenish path. Follow it until you get to the end right here. You should see a fork in the road. Head down the left path until you get to this thing. It's one of those crossbars you see at a railroad crossing. After a few seconds, a train should come crashing in. Now which one do you want to go around the train? So hang a right and you want to go around the front of the train, and that's how you get back onto the path. And once you see the path again, just look next to this lamppost for the next collectible. Then what you want to do is you want to backtrack, so just go the way you came. In case you get lost, follow the trail until it leads off into nowhere. Find the front of the train again and just hug it until you get back onto the path. So just snake around the trees. Path is right here. There's that crossbar, and we're just going to look down and follow this way. You want to make your way back to the fork, which is this sign right here. Once you see that, just go down the opposite path, which is right here. Keep going straight. Watch out for the snake. He likes to roam around here, but just follow the X signs until you get to his nest. Once you're here, just grab the next collectible right there. Then just turn straight around and head all the way back to the easel. So watch out for the snake. You can't kill him yet, unfortunately, which is another achievement, but you can't do that until you get to the third partition of the Fable lands. Now we're going to set the world into the paintbrush world. So grab the nearest paintbrush, which there's one to the right of the canvas. That should send you into the decrepit house. What you want to do is you want to head to the back left corner. So just head around here. You should notice like a hallway of bookshelves. Just look back there. You are going to grab the red paint tube. We're going to set this to the next partition of the decrepit house, which uses paint tubes. Watch out for the dog jump scare. That tends to get you if you're not paying attention, but make sure you go back to the canvas, use the paint tube on the canvas, and then set the world to the second partition of the decrepit house. You should notice a table next to you. Go around that, and then head through all the door frames. Keep going until you hit a dead end. You should get to like this big open area right here. You want to hang a right to go through the door frame. Left side is going to take you to a dead end. Just head through the door frame. This should take you back into a hallway. Follow the hallway until you get to a portrait. Once you see the portrait, which one you do is want to turn around, then turn back around, and you should be able to continue on. So just stare at the portrait, look back, wall caves in, and turn back around, and the path is all lit up. Make sure you grab the ball and push this all the way to the top of the hill of toys. You should push it into a gap. Once you do that, you can cross said gap and grab the paint tube. Bring this all the way back to the easel once you respawn, and you should be good. Alright, now that we're back, we are going to set the world to the third partition of the house. Make sure you grab the next collectible right here underneath the chair. It should be a little girl carrying a sword. This will allow us to grab the sword out of the stone to kill the serpent, but more importantly, you want to grab the crayon on top of the chair so you can set the world back to the Fablelands. Once you're here, you can kill the serpent if you want that achievement. However, to get the next collectible, you want to turn around facing the canvas. Then you're going to get to this fork. You are going to go to the left. Keep in mind, you do have to hold left trigger to sprint here in order to make it in time. This is a very missable collectible. At the end of this path, you should see a flower that lights up. There's going to be a collectible underneath it. If you weren't fast enough, these plants are going to come up and lock you out, which always sucks. So make sure you get that collectible before that happens. Once you free yourself from the plants, just leave and find your way back to the fork. And same thing as last time, just go on the opposite direction, which is going to be to the right. And we're going to head all the way down to the treehouse since we need to grab the next crayon to go to the next Fablelands partition. Climb the ladder and interact with the door, then look straight down at the bottom of the ladder until the dude chops down the treehouse. Once you wake back up, the crayon will be right to your left. Once you have this, just head back to the canvas. Change the world one more time, and this time this white path will appear directly behind you. Make sure you follow it. It's a little hard to see because it kind of blends in with the background, but this will lead you to some teacups. Just keep staying onto the path until you see this like forest of crayons holding up this giant doll, but underneath said doll will be this drawing slash collectible. After that, we're going to make our way back to the canvas. That's kind of our main point of reference if you haven't noticed, but that's probably the best way of not getting lost is just referring back to that canvas. But this time, we're going to take the purple path right behind it. You are going to get to another fork. Left fork will take you to another collectible, as will the right fork. We're going to do the left first, just because. Follow the path. It should look like this, a bunch of stripes, but you should get to this dog drawing with the heart. Make sure you pick that up. Head back to the center where the fork started, and there will be a collectible right underneath the sign. So make sure you look at it. It's right next to this chair and like handcuff things. Make sure you grab that, and then we are going to head down the right path, and there will be a collectible along the way. There will be like this dead toy horse, and you can examine it and get the third collectible. So right over here, it's going to be right between the path and the horse. After that, we're going to head all the way back to the canvas, as always. Alright, this part is completely up to you depending if you want to play this playthrough out to completion or not. If you are going for the mom ending, what you want to do is you want to follow the yellow path behind the canvas until you get to the fork, take a left and go to the Jack-in-the-Box to get the next crayon. If you are trying to get the dad ending, grab the paintbrush and go back to the decrepit house and get the paintbrush ending to this memory. So use the crayon memory last to get the mom ending, use the paintbrush ending last to get the dad ending, and you should be good. As long as you get one or the other last, that determines what ending slash direction the playthrough is going to be. For the sake of this playthrough, I'm doing a mom playthrough. However, we are just focusing on collectibles, so that's where we are going to do, which is why I grabbed the crayon from the Jack-in-the-Box. Whatever the case, interact with the canvas. That should teleport you back to the real world. You can grab the next painting as well as a clue right there. It should pop up regardless of what ending slash path you're playing through. But once you get that, we are going to finally leave and then head upstairs. Alright, as I said before, we are skipping all the flashbacks simply because we are only focusing on collectibles first. You can always come back and get them later if you plan on playing this playthrough to the completion, depending on what ending you want, etc, etc. However, once you get up to the second floor, you can grab a collectible right here next to the sofa. Don't go too far, or else you'll trigger a flashback, but head to the left into the office. The only other flashback that has collectibles in it is the office one, so keep that in mind. Only the painting one and the office. Before you start the flashback, there's 2 collectibles in the desk, one on the left drawer, which is this business card right here, and one on the second drawer to the right, second from the top. So make sure you grab those 2. Stare at the painting on the desk to trigger the next set of flashbacks. You are going to have to choose which parents you are going to side with. It doesn't really matter since both take you to the same types of rooms. It just dictates how the story goes. So for the sake of this playthrough, I'm doing a mom playthrough. However, if you're doing a dad playthrough, the locations will be the exact same. It's just that the backstory will be different. So choose either direction, left or right. Once again, I'm choosing the mom playthrough, so I'm going to the left. Once you are in here, you should be in the piano room. The next collectible will be the sheet music. Make sure you grab that before the next part. Then do whatever you want for the next part. I'm doing the mom playthrough, so I'm going to play the piano horribly. If you're doing the dad playthrough, make sure you play it until the dad tells you to shut up. And then get your crayons for the next piano segment. Crayons are going to be in the cupboard in case you forgot, or this is your first playthrough, if it is. And I hope it isn't, because what I'm probably telling you sounds confusing in places. But nonetheless, interact with the sheet music once you draw the shapes on it. Since we're doing the mom playthrough, we're just going to play horribly. If you're doing the dad playthrough, make sure you follow the directions as the shapes correspond to so. But after that, head through the door. You should be in this bedroom with a bunch of broken furniture. Just loop your way around until you get to the set of drawers you need to pull out to make a staircase up. This is going to be the first clock room, where you have to manipulate the clock in order to change the way the room is laid out. So climb to the top and interact with the clock face. You interact with it once to turn it on, and then you interact with it a second time to turn it off. It will go in rotations, basically. So you want to interact with it as many times as it takes until you get the room the way you want it laid out. You want it like this, where there's books on top of the center table. Once you have like that, you can go to the bookcase and grab this collectible right there. It will only pop up if the room looks like this with all the books around. Once you have that collectible, you can change the room to grab another collectible. You want it so the wheelchair is in the background, which looks a little something like this, with a plant on the chair and some candles and the fireplace all lit up. Once you see the wheelchair, just go up to it and grab the next collectible between the 2 sets of teddy bears. Then what you want to do is you want to go back to the clock and then change it to another setting, because we are going to have to advance it to get the combination for the safe in order to open up the next door. So you want it to look like this with the phonograph on the table. Don't touch the phonograph, it will mess up the clock. Alright, once you drop down, you want to look for the combination. It can appear in 3 places, either in the bookshelf where we got the collectible, in this bottom drawer, or on the table. If it's on the table, you take the steps up. The combination will always be random. Whatever it is, just grab it and then go to the safe and then punch in the combination. Counterclockwise to the first number, clockwise to the second number, and then counterclockwise back to the third number. And that's how you open up the safe. The safe works weird. You don't have to do the whole thing where you pass numbers or anything. Once you get it open, you want to grab the knife. It's going to be a memory, which is a separate collectible that isn't really missable. But more importantly, it opens up the next door after the little flashback. It's not the door to your left, it's the door next to the clock. So head to the clock side of the room and just head down this little hallway until you get to the door. So once you open that up, you can progress through the next part of the game. So open that up, and then we're going to walk down. You should see a wheelchair right there. That's your indication to turn left. Keep following the hallway. There's another door here. Once you get to this room, you have to choose which parent again. Once again, stick to the one whose playthrough you're doing. So I'm doing the mom playthrough, going to the left. You want to make sure all your choices stay the same, which has another achievement in it of itself. So once you're in here, this clock thing should fall. I think it's the grandfather clock from earlier. Who knows? But head to the left, open up this room. There should be a giant box in here with an X in front of it. Inside will be your next collectible, so make sure you grab that. It's going to be a clock telling you what time it is. After that, open up the next door. This one's actually pretty hard to find. It's going to be right next to it. Alright, in this hallway, you just want to keep rotating the hallway until you see the toy horse. Once you see it, the hallucinations will end, and you could just go straight into the next room. You should be in like this basement area. Just head straight until you see these glowing cracks. Look straight up. You should see a portrait of your mother. It should fall apart. Then you have to find all 3 pieces. But once the thing falls off, you want to turn around, and this hallway should appear randomly head through the door, you should be in the repeating rooms, which gets a little complicated, especially if it's your first time through. So I'm going to do my best to try to walk you through this. Alright, first step, you want to open up this cupboard to your left. Make sure you open up the left side, grab the first piece of the drawing there, and then head back the way you came. This time, a staircase will appear. Make sure you head upstairs, which will take you to the same room. However, the layout's slightly different, and the location of the collectible slash piece of the drawing is going to be different. This time, you want to go around the table, and you want to pull this painting down, and then behind it will be part 2 of the drawing. After that, we are going to go back around. This ball should drop. Glowing globe right there for reference. And that same staircase will be this time right here. Go up it like normal, and you'll be in that same room again. This time with the furniture. And what you want to do is go around the chandelier and then push this shelf down. Then you want to wait about 10 seconds or so, and the third piece of the drawing should come floating down. And once you grab it, you are free to move on. But before you do that, there's actually a collectible you can grab, but it's going to be back down in the basement. So what you want to do instead of going upstairs is you want to go back the way you came and go downstairs. And then once you get to the bottom, this door should be here. This will take you back into the basement from earlier, but this time you want to hang a left, and if you go through this narrow slit right here, there will be another collectible right here that we need to grab for this achievement, which is this photo of the girl and her dog. Then we are going to go back the way we came, back into the room. So just look for that door again and head up the stairs. Once you get to the top, you're going to be in that same room with the chandelier through the table and that shelf we pushed over. What you want to do is you want to cross that shelf and then head over here. Then we're going to go to the next upstairs bit. The loop should end after opening up this door since we completed the painting. And then you can look at it right here. You can grab it if you want to. It's going to be a memory, I believe. Then what you want to do is you want to open up this door. This will take you to the next part finally. And then what you want to do in this room is grab this vase and just pull it down. A key should be inside of it. Grab that key. It's very important to the next collectible, which ironically is in the same room. So just turn around, open up the cupboard, and there should be a locked box in here. Use that key on the locked box. It's going to be on the right, and in here is going to be another drawing slash collectible slash part of this achievement. It should be a bunch of dogs getting attacked by werewolves or something. After that, go up to this door, you get swarmed by locusts, and then get teleported to the next area. Alright, once the locust swarm dissipates, open up the door. You have that same room where you have to choose which parent again. Obviously stick to the same one. Mom ending, so going to the left. Once again, if you're doing the dad playthrough, go to the right. But in this playthrough, we are going to head through the door until you get to this ramp. Before going up the ramp, you want to look behind it. On this stack of newspapers will be a newspaper clipping, which is a collectible, so make sure you pick that up. We are going to go up the ramp. This is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just go up this, push the staircase boxes to the left, and you can climb up, pull the drawer out, pull that ball down, then turn around, pull that drawer out, climb the stairs. A lot of ramp stuff up here. Just climb up the right side of the ramp, pull that ramp down, back down. You can pick up the birthday cakes if you want to. They count as memories, which is the other type of collectible, only focusing on the notes. But once you get to this room, just punch it straight, skipping ahead since it's a lot of slow going upstairs. You should see a sofa. Go up to the sofa, you fall through the floor. Once you wake back up, you can finally move on. Go behind the sofa. There's a door right here. Make sure you go through the door. And then we are on our way to our last collectible, which should be straight ahead. Don't hang the right just yet, just go straight. There should be a closet right here. Open it up, grab the thing in the middle of all your toys. Missing cat poster. That's actually the last one. Achievement should pop, ideally. It's going to be for a 25 gamer score, and that's all there is to it.